Reach Over Culture podcast. This is ROC coming to you like I do every Reach Over Culture podcast. Shout out to all the first time listeners. You heard this your first time tuning in. Shout out to you.
Yes, sir.
If you left and you ain't been back in a while, shout out to you. Wipe your feet at the door. And if you're a loyal listeners, like we do have a few of those out there, man, shout out to you. Biggest shout out to you. You heard?
Yeah.
We wouldn't be where we are without you. Second half of this fourth season, and we in and out on a strong note. Got about 3-4 months of solid episodes coming your way.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to everybody that tuned into the Shagoon episode. Shout out to the Shagoon as well from Young Adult Pastor from We Are Creek. And so these next couple of episodes, if you was here last episode, then you saw that we had The Wave. The Wave is back from his long hiatus off the ROC platform.
Game two.
And for those of you that don't know, The Wave is actually on half of season 2. Now, season 2 no longer exists, unfortunately. But he'll be on more episodes as we round out season 4. He's really a co-host. You just gotta go far down the bench to go get him.
I'm part-time. About 15 minutes a game.
15 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Utility player. You know,
so a bunch of DMPs.
Right. That's a fact. So we got P.CHARIZ in the building. You heard me, my brother, like my mother's son.
Yes, sir. Yep. Tune into The Wave, man, no matter what you believe.
Now, my next...
I don't have a cool slogan.
I don't got no slogan, man. I just say what come to me.
Go ahead, Rob.
Now, my next guest is not actually a guest at all. If you've known him, it's to love him. He's got two of our highest viewed videos on YouTube. Go check out Town Talk Part 1. And it was so nice we had to do it twice. Town Talk Part 2.
True.
Yep.
It's been in multiple Reach Over Culture episodes. Probably second behind P, actually. Close second. Episode or 2 off.
Mm-hmm. Reach Over Culture podcast.
Reach Over Culture. But if you do.
Right.
Count the episodes that he's done for the Reach Over Culture media group as a whole.
He's way ahead of me.
Way ahead of the competition. You heard? I think he's way ahead of everybody. All right,
let's give it up for MC.
Thank
man.
you.
Give it up for MC, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
No. I'm not. No,
he's not done. Oh, you're not done?
No.
Yeah. My bad.
I know he gets a little uncomfortable. No, none of that.
Give him his flowers, man.
We're gonna give him his flowers, bro.
Yeah.
You just did.
Because my man's has been holding it down now. He's been on about 6-7 Reach Over Culture episodes. Mm-hmm. Did a couple lives. He ain't just stopped there. He said, nah, what you need for the sports podcast, because we need it in the streets. I said, I just need commitment. He gave that too. So if you've tuned in, last week we released a doubleheader, 2 episodes in 1 week, 15-16. Both of those include none other than the boy himself, hip hop's MC, the MC.
Yeah.
Town activity.
What he said, hey. He said, that nigga came on the wax and said, hey.
We got to put that on the board.
No.
We got to get an A on the board.
Please send it to me.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, please send it to me.
We got to do that.
You heard me. Hip hop's MC to MC, Parris Chariz, World 4-5. It's a World 4-5 affair. Reach Over Culture.
It's a glorious occasion. Oh God.
Oh, all right, man. So
Is this the first time we've done this?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild.
This is our first episode together.
All 3, yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's hard.
Shout out to you, bro. This is your 3rd episode for Reach Over Culture Media Group. Shout out to you. You overworking for us, bro.
I feel like I'm having a good time, bro.
Every time.
It's a pleasure. You're a good person to follow.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You're easy to follow.
Easy to follow.
Right.
Easy.
You know, you make things simple. You make them plain. You know how to keep the conversation moving. You know when things need to be expounded upon. You know when to ask questions. You know when to just be in the room. Easy to follow, bro. You're detailed. You give times. You go start. You send Google invites, which helps me and my family a ton.
You know what I'm saying? I had to put that in my calendar when I got that.
I'll forget.
You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it.
So, you know.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Questions that need answering. We start off every Reach Over Culture episode with questions that need answering.
Yeah.
Man, I'm interested in seeing what y'all gonna say. This is kind of like an age-old debate. You either stand on one side of the fence or other on this one. I've never met a person that didn't watch either one of them. So if you tell me that you haven't watched either one of them, I'm probably not your friend. I'm probably not somebody that associates myself with you. It ain't even for nothing crazy. It's just you didn't watch that, like either or.
Right.
Questions that need answering. Better show, Martin or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Better show.
Better show. I'm gonna let you get your favorite, but better show.
I'm gonna let you go, MC.
I want to say Martin. I want to say Martin is the better show, but I know for a fact that Fresh Prince is my favorite between the two, because I feel like I only got to see Martin when it was on, because I feel like it wasn't as syndicated across
all stations
like
all
Fresh
networks.
Prince. So I feel like I got to live with Fresh Prince past its existence on primetime television. So I've seen more episodes. Like I've seen all episodes of the Fresh Prince because it's been on Comedy Central, it's been on BET, it's been on all the Viacom channels. You know what I'm saying? Like with Martin, I felt like it wasn't until maybe 5, 6, 7, 9-ish maybe years ago that it started to kind of really like pop up. But before that, you had to have like the DVDs. If you was really like go watch it like that. Right. So I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to live with Martin like I have the Fresh Prince. But I do think Martin's the better show.
You think Martin's the better show?
I do. I want to say Martin is the better show.
Okay.
I think I enjoy Martin more than I enjoy the Fresh Prince. I just think the Fresh Prince is easier to watch.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I would actually reverse those. Martin's my favorite show. My favorite show of all time. I'll watch Martin over Fresh Prince any day. There's only a couple of key nuances why I say Fresh Prince was the better show. It had the better ending. I feel like the writing was better. Even with the switch on Aunt Viv. It's like you felt that switch, but it didn't throw off the continuity of the show. Yeah. And then they just had better actors at the end of the day. South Alfonso, Phil James. Is it Phil James or James Phil?
Like James Avery?
James Avery, I'm sorry. James Avery.
Yeah, I was about to say Phil James.
We ain't bugged out, are we?
Yeah.
All right, you're right.
Okay.
Right. James Avery. It just had a better crop of actors.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the continuity of the show, the fact that they was able to transition from him being a teenage kid all the way up to being college, all the way up to being out of college.
Right. Trying to
get ready to get married. That's a very difficult thing to do versus the ending of Martin. Of course, when you read back on the controversy between him and Tisha, like, you know, you can just tell that it wasn't the same show. And
after certain things.
After those last couple seasons are shaky. Versus Fresh Prince, they started off strong and they ended strong. You know what I mean? So just better
going through.
So that's why I give Fresh Prince. I say Fresh Prince is probably the better show, but my favorite show is Martin. Though, if you ask me which one I'm watching Martin over Fresh Prince. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I'm Fresh Prince both ways, favorite, and I think it's better.
Okay.
But I enjoy Martin a lot.
How much Fresh Prince have you watched in comparison to Martin? Is it like 50-50, 60-40?
It's about the same.
Okay.
Because I've lived with, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom used to watch Martin, so like that's what we watched.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched Fresh Prince too, though.
Yeah. Because Fresh Prince was mine for a while.
Yeah.
Because to your point, it was more syndicated.
Right.
So it was just across your television screen more. It wasn't really till Martin started to
show more.
Exactly like you said. And because my pops, he loved Martin. So he was always a Martin guy. He loved Fresh Prince, but he was always like
he a Martin type of guy.
Yeah, like he was. So I knew about Martin coming up, and of course, like every time he got a chance to DVR it, to your point again, he did that. And so I always enjoyed Martin, but it wasn't until I got older, honestly, I was like, yo, I actually enjoy this show more. Yeah. Now that I get a lot more of the jokes and a lot of the nuances of having crazy friends and stuff like that. Brumman coming from the 5th floor, Roscoe, you know, Jerome, like with the boots and the rhyming and this, that, and the third. Like it just, as an adult, I'm like, nah, I actually enjoy Martin a little bit more. So dope. And
I think I agree with you. I think Martin is funnier. I think I find Martin funnier.
Right.
I think that's the distinction that I have.
Right.
Because from hearing your argument or your perspective, I'll call it, I do think that The Fresh Prince is the better show. I think I find Martin funnier than The Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
like I laugh at Martin.
Way more.
I'm entertained by The Fresh Prince.
Way more entertaining.
Yeah. Like you can go to The Fresh Prince and get a feel good message, a funny message, a serious message.
Right.
You know, with Martin, it's just straight up laughs. Like you're going to
and I
laugh.
think sometimes you just have. Sometimes I think Fresh Prince just got better episodes. I think Fresh Prince just got better episodes.
No, yeah, it's definitely a lot more well written and yeah.
But inside of the episodes, I'm laughing more at Martin.
Because Martin is a comedy show.
Right.
Like, even a lot of what they did, they said it was a lot of improv involved on that show too. Like, and I love those episodes that you can tell, like, Tommy and them are trying not to laugh while they're live on stage. Because Martin might do something that they didn't expect. Yeah. And it's like, yo, this is hilarious. So they try not to laugh as well as we. Like, when you go back and watch the scene where he faked like he had the dog on some New Jack City stuff, asking for the CD player. Like, when the dog falls to the side, look at everybody's faces in the background. They all just look down.
They all look down.
Bro, they trying not to die. Even when he played Jerome and he knocked at the door and Tisha opened the door and he was... that. And then she closed the door. And then she opened the door back. He came back down. Oh my God. Like you could see like Pam just putting her face down like, bro, this is an idiot, dog. Buddy. So yeah, that's why I think Martin's I think Martin's the funniest show, but Fresh Prince is the best. And shout out to Martin and Will Smith, man, because you know that's like when you really think about the 90s, right? And we kids, so we don't really read. We're not reading into the tabloids and the newspaper stuff like that. And at least for me, I know I have my perspective on culture as far as how I look from a New Orleans standpoint of view. But to think that the two dudes with the biggest shows in the 90s came together and made Bad Boys.
It's crazy.
That's stupid, bro. Yeah. That's dumb. Like y'all got the two biggest shows. It's like 1A, 1B.
It's a dream collab,
bro. That's a dream collab, and like man, to your point, to be alive during that time had to be crazy. Like it was no way you our age around that time and you didn't go see Bad Boys.
Dang. Just that whole time frame, like the whole Jordan era, the Chicago Bulls era, that whole championship era. To live in that time frame, those 8 years, like imagine it, bro.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, I don't think black people have had a more successful time in film in the 90s. Because even during that time, Spike Lee dropped Malcolm X in 92. You know, Denzel was on his rise.
Malcolm X came out in 92?
Malcolm X came out in 92.
I thought it came out later in the 90s. 92 is crazy.
Malcolm X came out in 92. And that's when you're looking at Morgan Freeman in his heyday. Yeah. Wesley Snipes was one of the top. Money Train, Blade, all that stuff happened in the 90s. White Men Can't Jump. Like, all that stuff was in the 90s. Yeah. And so you had Martin, you had Fresh Prince. Bill was still doing his thing in the 90s. I'm talking about Bill. I'm talking about Cliff. Cliff was doing his thing in the 90s. Jordan, Tyson in the 90s. Black people was running culture in the 90s, bro. When you really think, running culture now, it was just more evident. It's like you couldn't turn on your television without seeing
it was never more clear than the 90s. Because anytime you even revisit 90s anything, whether it's picture edits or clothes, like anytime 90s is vintage, it's black. You know what I'm saying? It's what black people were wearing. Yeah. When you vintage 70s, it's all over the place. Yeah. When you vintage 80s, it's all over the place. Even when you vintage the 2000s, it's kind of like...
You think so?
Yeah. Because when you vintage the 2000s, like, you'll get some of your big jeans, but you had your boy bands. What women were wearing was more universal.
Yeah, the spiked hair.
Skateboarding was kind of in. Tony Hawk, like
the early 2000s.
Then the nerd was like at all-time high in the 2000s. Think about it, Harry Potter.
Hobbit.
PlayStation 1 that came out in 98. Then they turned around and put out PlayStation. That's when Sony was starting to get on there. And then GameCube, stuff like that. So but in the 90s though,
it was all over the place. But 90s was black.
Even we talking about Dipset and Locks, like
that was 90s.
Cam started in 96, 97, or 97, 98. The Locks started in 97, 98. And so, you know, when you Big Pun, Jay,
Beans,
Beanie Siegel, State Property. All right, man. So listen, for both of you, y'all were a part of the FILA album that came out earlier in the summer.
Yeah.
Fires in Little Africa here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if you don't know. A collective of artists from the Tulsa, Oklahoma City area. So y'all both on the album. Shout out to y'all, man, making that. Shout out to the whole Fires in Little Africa.
Yes, sir.
You know me for that nice collective of artists.
Absolutely.
So y'all have done a couple of shows. Y'all have, did the album. How's y'all experience been working with that group of people?
What's wrong with you, dog?
What I do?
What's wrong with you? It's been good, bro. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, but overall,
I can imagine with so many artists.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you working with 40 plus people,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, personalities clash, egos clash. Who didn't choose to necessarily be together?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all chose to be on the project, but we didn't all necessarily choose to make songs with each other. And I think when you put all that into consideration, I would consider the project a huge success.
Yeah.
You know, like anything else, like you would feel like, all right, I wish we could have did this better, or I wish we could have improved on this, or I wish we could have changed this with this song, like, or I wish we could have, like, even with the reparations video, like, I'm upset that we couldn't put out the one that Dom shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, but all in all, like,
Yeah, I couldn't put that. That's
but there, well, it's not out.
got you.
It was supposed to come out on.
July 26th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that. I just didn't know if it was for a particular reason. Like, it's just too much.
I can tell you, but I like stuff like that though. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted it was supposed to come out at a certain time. Everybody was excited about it. We put out promo about it, and it didn't happen. It's
Yeah.
like little things like that. Like,
Yeah.
you want to see, because you want to see people have their opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing. It don't be about how an individual feels. It's like about how the person that's putting their best foot forward and giving them the opportunity. I felt like with Dom shooting the reparations video, watching him do it, like being there, it was like, wow, he's really doing this.
Yeah.
And for me, it was more so I couldn't wait for people to see that.
Putting 100 into it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I felt like he deserved that. I felt
Yeah.
like he deserved for people to see what he could do with an opportunity to create something like that. So, but outside of that, that's dope. Like, it's a lot of good songs. A lot of people in the community feel good about it. You can see, like, a lot of people feel a sense of bonding with it. A lot of you walk around, people congratulating you on it. Right? It's dope. You can tell it means a lot to people.
There you go. I like that. P, how was your experience working with the group?
It was okay.
Okay.
I don't want to get into detail, but it was okay. I think what was supposed to happen, or what was meant to happen, happened.
Right.
And I think I'm more so just grateful to be able to speak life into that situation or be a part of that situation, just because I'm not from Tulsa and I didn't learn about it until I was, you know what I'm saying, past well into my 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, when I even learned about it. So to be able to be an artist and in a sense put it on a pedestal, so for people to understand it and learn about it, and from that aspect, I feel like it was great.
Yeah. Just the process was a little strenuous.
I wouldn't even say the process was strenuous. I would say everything was strenuous.
Gotcha.
But I think what was, like I said, I feel like what was meant to happen happened, and I think it was good. Like, I do feel like it was a success.
And not only the FILA album, but you also had an opportunity to feature on one of Pastor Mike's songs that was a Billboard chart. And so, you know, interestingly enough, I mean, you put out 24/5 a year ago. We talked about it the last pod, Super Splash Bros 2. But if you're paying attention, like, your name is still found a way to be in certain circles without you having to put out a lot of individual work between last year and this year per se. So are you looking forward to more of those different types of opportunities to work with maybe a larger group like FILA, or, feature on some of the bigger tracks, like, moving forward? Is the price went up?
Am I looking forward to it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it. I feel like if it comes my way, I feel like we could cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
But looking forward to it, nah.
Just more or less focus on what you got going.
Yeah, I'm kind of really focused on what I'm working on, what he working on.
Right.
And just what you doing.
Right. Your people. You focus
I'm just focused on my people.
On your
like,
people.
If other great opportunities come along, I feel like, because I mean, the mic situation was random. It was super random. He just called me one day. It was like, man, I got this song. I'm like, all right. Like,
nothing's random.
It's not a coincidence. That was supposed to happen. But
so even you being at this point, it's really in a roundabout way. It's really me giving you your flowers. You know, but P might be able to call you and be like, nah, well, for whatever reason, you know, it just so happens to be where you are.
Yeah.
And people could like recognize you on the song and be like, yo, I'm going to tune in because that's P.CHARIZ on the song.
Yeah.
Or even be included in the FILA project. Like both of y'all, like coming from the spaces that y'all come from, I know a little bit better than others, you know, because people wouldn't even know that you're originally from Detroit. You're originally from Houston.
Right.
But because y'all have ingratiated yourselves with the town, and not only that, upped y'all level of content, it's like you get those calls from P. Mike. Y'all will get invited to be on the FILA album, and not just be on the FILA album, like have a couple of key songs on that joint. So, you know, be in the video, you know, be on the fly. So, yeah, it's just really just me giving you your flowers. Like,
thank you.
Because of the hard work that you've put in, people can recognize that, and those different opportunities start to come.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand being in a space was like, you know, that was cool. Those things was cool, but now it's about getting what we got going to the next level. So speaking of that, speaking of the 45, y'all really just put 45 and stamped it as a collective. Is it fair to say within the last year and a half? Like where it was literally like a solidified. It's always been, you know, we 45, but to put it on the clothes and the merch, and for it to be its own entity, for y'all to put in the work that y'all put into to establish it as its own entity, is it fair to say that's been within the last year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah. We got the LLC happening in what, May, June?
2020?
Yeah.
Probably
something like
that.
All right. So
shortly before the album.
Yeah. It was before the album. So yeah, like a little over a year.
So with that,
that's a brand for like about 18 months, 2 years.
That,
yeah, like as a brand, like as an official business, and like us, because like to me, I feel like when you ask us that question, it get weird because like we're really critical of ourselves because we're so serious about what we're trying to do. So when you ask that question, sometimes we be thinking about what we're trying to improve, which would be like that stuff, like the official stuff. You know, let's get more structure and order for what's going on. So like when you ask like how long it's been established to us is like
are we
established? Like, what the hell we get established?
I don't know if we are yet.
Yeah, I think we started trying to be established like last year. But when you talking about just art and branding, like we've been at it for a minute. Yeah, we've been at it for like, you know what I'm saying?
Probably could say 3 years.
Probably like 2018.
But since because and my weakness is under World 45.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a brand name.
So cool. All right. So I appreciate that. So going back to, because I love what you said about, man, do we even really feel established? Being that y'all went and turned it into a business last year around that time, after about a year of officially turning it into something that you can go online and see is on paper, how has the progress of 45 been since that time? If any progress at all, are y'all satisfied? Is it, you know what I mean? Just speak on the overall progress, if any, of 45 from the time y'all have registered as an official business till now. Because I'm asking the two captains at this point.
Yeah,
so of course
sure.
we're gonna get we know this ain't gonna be no dressing or nothing. Now y'all say what y'all say for sure, but you know I'm asking the right people the right questions.
Nah, for sure. You want me to go?
Go ahead.
We have. I personally, from my perspective, I feel like we have grown in the aspect of, you know, everybody don't want to go and everybody can't go. And I think it's two different things. Everybody can't go and everybody don't want to go. So I think we are in a place where it's like we are now in a place where we understand, like, all right, this is who going and this is where it's at. So we have grown in that aspect, because I feel like that's very hard, especially with everybody being family and friends. It's very hard to move. It's very hard to handle business.
Well, that's gonna be my next question.
So am I going too far?
I just don't want you to jump too. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. That's from my perspective. As far as growth, I feel like that's where we have grown.
Would you like? I mean, you put out 2045 last year. Shortly after you put out It Is What It Is, They Love Combo put out a song not too long ago. And then you just did Super Splash Bros. You know, y'all introduced Jerry as a official new member of
Super Slight, but yeah.
World 4-5 this year. Are y'all satisfied with the amount of music that y'all been able to put out in between this time and that time?
No. Wait, in between what time?
Y'all
no is the answer regardless, but I just want to know how aggressive my no is.
Turn it into
Whoa, it's not that aggressive.
Turn it into an official business until now.
Nah. Since last May? Nah. In general, no, but not since we made it an official business, no.
So is that the goal moving forward? Is to put out more music as a collective, not just y'all two alone, but
it has to be.
Yeah,
you know. And shout out Nello too. Nello just put out a song as well.
All right, make it out.
So
yeah.
So
yeah, like it's that's a good question, because we just talked about that.
Okay,
we literally just talked about that like not even a week ago. Because I mean, if we want to be a label, like, you got to have 5 artists, 20 albums. So 5 artists got to have 4 albums, and that's an album is 8 songs or more.
Right.
So
that's just the standard to have a label to register as a label.
Now with streaming, there's no distinction from what's a mixtape, or, you know what I'm saying. Mixtapes is usually like hard copy. You sell it out your trunk. It's a bunch of no ceilings type songs.
Right.
Now you can put it up on any platform. You know what I'm saying. They distinguish it by the minutes, and that's how it got to be 7 songs 25 minutes or 7 songs 30 minutes.
Wow.
That's how Pusha T got nominated with only 7 songs, because it was a certain amount of the songs were a certain amount of length. So it's not 8 songs. It's basically 8 songs, but it's 7 songs 30 minutes, and that's considered an album. So we need, as far as being a label, we got to have 5 different artists, have 4 albums. But as far as a collective, still no. Like, you know what I'm saying. To me, I feel like musically he needs to lead. You know what I'm saying.
Well, before we,
I apologize.
No, you good. You good. Second game back. You good. I got you. Don't even worry about it. Are you satisfied with the amount of music? I know you said no.
Yeah.
Do you feel like y'all should be putting out music at a more rapid rate? And if so, like, ideally, what does that rate look like? Like, somebody should be putting out a song a month, tape every 3-4 months. Like, what would that look like in your opinion?
I think everybody's situation is different. So I would say, at large, a lot of the issue could be solved if I put out more music in general, probably. Like, if I was more consistent or active in the way that I release music, then I feel like that would change a handful of it by itself. But after that, a lot of it don't even be music issues, it be content issues.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like musically, we have enough music to be straight if we put out music the way we need to. Because I feel like a lot of times, and I'll speak for myself, the lack of creation comes from the hoarding of what you're creating. So I feel like I hold on to so much stuff that once you put it out, that's what it takes for it to flow. But you hold on to too much, you start getting stuffed up. So I feel like for us, like, we got the music, if we had the content and we pushing out content at a higher level, we would release more music because we're creating more content.
Yeah.
And I think that would just create to making more music. And it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. So I would probably say me putting out more music consistently would be great. And if it's not going to be that, we need another me to come from somewhere. And, you know, I think right now for where we are, it's easier because I'm here. So it's like, instead of trying to find another me, just be me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't mad at that. Now, talking about going back to what you were saying about friends and family, mixing friends and family, 45 was a collective of people that still consider themselves today, you know, family, when you talk about the origins of it.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, you know, I told y'all last episode I'd be driving Lyft full time. The woman that now lives there, I actually like drive her every Friday.
Oh, for real?
Word.
In the apartment?
To that same apartment.
That's crazy.
45?
Yeah, older woman.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
She comes out of that apartment.
Yeah, I pick her up from work. Usually, I know if I'm online at 5 o'clock every other Friday, I'm picking her up, and she goes into that apartment. Apartment 45.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
He picks up the person that lives where we used to. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Sometimes I drive over there just because.
Yeah, so
like I'll be in the area and I'll just pull up and just sit there for a second. Just be like, hi.
Yeah, there's an older woman that lives there now. Sweet woman too.
That's nice. Next time you pull up, you should ask her if she can feel the spirit in the house. Oh, and ask if they got roaches still. Ask if the roaches.
I'm not gonna ask either one of those.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Oh, okay."
But you know, she's a nice woman, but she you know,
she white?
Nah, she black.
Oh yeah, it's good.
To ask if she got roaches in the house still?
Just be like, man, I heard.
I don't agree with that question.
No, just
but
be
I
like,
do agree with the first question.
no, just be like, yo, I heard that, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a bad little road problem over here.
But MC, you got
how was your space?
You got that first one though, because I do be wanting to ask her, like, I do be wanting to tell her, like, yo, like my best friends have created a whole out of that same
where you live. How's the spirit in there?
Like a special place.
Yeah, that's a special spot.
Word. So, but going back to that, like, it was developed off of genuine friendship and family and camaraderie.
Yeah.
Since registering it as an official business, even prior to that, just, you know, collabing or whatever, how difficult has it been, if it's been difficult, to mix friends and business together?
It's hard. It's hard.
Super, super hard.
You know, because like when you start a business as friends, when you start any business, you're trying to keep a hold of like the feeling of fun and that creative burst that comes from just the inspiration and ideas that made you start it. And on top of that, when you're working with friends, you have fun with your friends. So you're always trying to have fun. So in both areas, business and personal, in that situation, you're looking to have the best time possible. Mm-hmm. That's why when a lot of people start businesses, a lot of the structure is not good, and you learn over time because you're just having a good time. When you do it with your friends, it's like that on steroids. And then people's feelings get involved, and everybody isn't always in the same place. And one person says, we need to grow up, before the other person says we need to grow up. And now you feel that because you kind of felt it, but you didn't want to say it. And now they said it, so now they got that on you. And now you feel like they could be bossing up on you because y'all are equals. And it's like, yeah, but like we have a business together.
Yeah. So
like it's a lot of that. Like it's a lot of growth in having to put egos and pride to the side and learning how to communicate in a way that you didn't have to communicate before,
when it was just fun.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like it's hard to tell. It's always just hard to come to someone that, like he said, you have fun with and be like, all right, bro, like you gotta put out more music. Like, because when I say it's hard, like because we was having you having so much fun. It's like I don't want to get serious with you, and I feel like.
But this is your livelihood, though.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I remember, bro, we had an incident where we was talking, and like he could tell that I was like worked up, like trying to tell him this, and he had to remind me, like, bro, like, why you wait this long to say it? Like, you could have just told me that. And it's like you don't think, because it's like, bro, we are handling, but you are my friend. Like,
Yeah.
even if we was arguing about a girl, I would just come like, Rock, bro, like, you shouldn't have did that one.
Yeah.
But now that it's business and money and,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
You don't want to get anything you said taken the
wrong way. Or like he said, like, because he know one of my biggest things, like, I don't like feeling like I'm bossing up on niggas.
Right.
Especially not my friends. He was like, bro, Matt tell you, like, bro, you got a boss up.
If there's anybody humble enough to say, like, bro, if I need to be checked, you need to check me.
Yeah.
Is that dude.
Nah, no cap.
He ain't gonna do that with everybody.
Nah, hell nah.
You can say whatever you gotta say.
Yeah, nah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do that with everybody, but he's came to me, especially on the uncredible sources, like, bro, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
It was like, I mean,
and you think about it, like, yeah, I could have just asked him. Like,
yeah, I could have been like, hey, my nigga, like even short of saying, like, bro, if you need me to get on live, despite how I'm feeling, tell me to get on the live.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, niggas got lives, bro. Like,
nah, it doesn't matter.
But if I've learned that with working with him on uncredible sources, is like, bro, despite how I feel, whatever you need, tell me what you need. Mm-hmm. And I'll push by, like, he doesn't mind being led to your point.
Right.
That's the only thing that makes it work, though. Especially at the ground floor.
No
like,
cap.
Because the hardest part about working with friends in business is that somebody has to be the leader.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the awkward part, is that you have to look at somebody as friends. Like 3 minutes ago, before we thought this was a good idea, we were all peers in every way, shape, and form. The only thing we were to each other that we held over each other was accountability, and that's not even holding it over each other because it works both ways.
Right.
So 3 minutes ago, everything was all good. Now you're telling me this person is the one that's going to tell us what to do. And that's the hard part, and that's the challenges you feel. Like, you have to put people in positions to where, like, you can only do this with humble niggas. Mm-hmm. You can't do this with niggas that's not humble. And ain't nobody doing it with niggas that's pushovers, that's not trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, it's doing it with niggas that's going to be like, you know what, I'm such a strong leader, I'm such a visionary, I have such a vision for this company the same way that you do, because we started this all together, that I know as well as you do what it's going to take for it to work, and it's going to take me taking the back seat and following and letting so-and-so lead. And that's so hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, with people you've known in the deepest of the worst parts of themselves.
Why do you... And hold on to your question.
I was just gonna say we're only like that because he brought it to us. Like, I'm not the type that's gonna say, no, I'm a lead. He had to tell me, like, bro, you gotta lead. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna let you lead, and that made it easier for me to lead.
So I was gonna ask you, why do you think is it natural for you to be able to do that? Do you have to work yourself to that spot mentally? And if it is natural, like, why do you think that's just natural for you to do?
To do what?
Just be able to take the back seat when somebody is a better leader in a situation, give them the floor to lead in that situation.
Negatively, insecurity helps a lot, because fear and insecurity helps a lot, because that's the negative side of it that makes it okay.
Yeah.
That helps me, or it makes me sometimes over follow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it helps make me a good follower in that regard. So I just have to keep that in check. But the other side, the more cool flexy side of it, the part that you put on the Instagram clip, is that I just want to win.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm the type of nigga, if I'm on a team, I don't have to score. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying, be running the floor. Like, I just want to contribute to winning. And I know what it takes to be successful for what the job is. Like, I may not be able to tell you how we're going to become a multi-billion-dollar business, but I can tell you how we're going to get to that first 100,000 or maybe that first 50,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is how we going to get to that 10-band plan. And that may not be from me rapping. You know what I'm saying? That may not be from me being the guy. It may come from me being a supporter. But it may come from me rapping. And that would take more of a sacrifice out of me than being in the backseat, because I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, bro. Like, you just got to be around niggas that just see the goal. It's like, I want to win. And that's what he was saying, like, figuring out who wants to go. Like, because everybody don't want to go. Niggas think they want to go until you look them in the face and be like, do what I say. And not because I'm the boss, but because I need to lead. That's what we signed up for. Like, we had that conversation all the time with niggas. Like, with each other. Like, we'll be talking about a meeting we're about to have, and he'll be in his pee bag, or like, can you lead that part of the thing? And it's like, bro, they signed up for this. Like, before we had that meeting last year, where we sat everybody down and with the written out joint and told people, like, this is where we're going as a company, it's different if niggas didn't want to follow at a certain point. Because even though they knew that they were following us and that they were following him more specifically, nobody told them that. But once we sat people down and told them that, and that's another thing about working with friends, it's even more imperative that your expectations are laid out and that they're drawn out and that you know what people know what you're asking of them and what it's going to require. That way, when you do have to boss up on niggas and it gets uncomfortable, it's cool because we had this conversation already. Right. Like, we all sat in a room and said, P is the leader. Is everybody okay with that? And all of y'all niggas said, yeah. So the second that there's a problem and you're not following, I'm going to have to be like, yo, no problem, but this is what you said you was going to do. Mm-hmm. And if that's an issue, we have to figure something else out. But we'll still be friends at the end of the day. Like, there's people that's not with us as a company right now who we kick it with all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not about that. Like, the friendship is never going to be tainted by the business unless, well, we hope that the friendship is never tainted by the business unless it's coming from the other side. Like, we try to always make sure that, like, the friendship comes first, but the business comes first, but the friendship is the priority.
Right. No bridges burned.
No bridges burned.
I mean, I think y'all laid it out perfectly. Expectations is a huge part of that.
And we had to learn that.
Yeah.
Like, we had to go through something to figure that out. Like, we didn't just have that. And we probably knew that. I'm sure he knew that. I knew that. But it's like, to experience it and walk through it is a different thing.
Yeah.
To not, you don't think, like, we got to lay our expectations out on the first meeting. Like, nobody's thinking that. We thinking about other stuff. So, but walking the way we walk, you know what I'm saying, the path we walk, we figured out, like, oh, like, that's imperative. Yeah. We need a meeting to let everybody know. Lay your expectations out.
I mean, it would only be foolish that y'all didn't. I mean, that y'all didn't learn. Right. Uncredible Sources only runs as well as it runs because of all the mistakes that I've made running Reach Over Culture. Not setting clear expectations with Moises or Rob. So, a lot, when me, you, and Rob sat in Rob's crib for 2 hours, and you was even there towards the end of that, or you was there the next night, all that stuff that we came about and all the stuff that I laid out was simply because I learned my lesson from X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why we run as smooth as we run. It's only from mistakes. So to be able to learn from mistakes and admit, like, yo, we struggled with being clear with our expectations without feeling like we was bossing up. Just doing all of that and taking that and learning by the time you register as a business, that's dope. And that's to be commended because a lot of niggas don't learn that.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies fold before they even get to a space of a space of true glory because they don't learn that.
That's why I'm proud of everybody that we have right now. Right? People don't have to do this, and we make it clear to them, like, this is a choice, and we let people know what we're offering. Like, we're not selling nobody no dreams of, like, we're making you a star. Like, we're just trying to help you be the best version of whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever that is. Like, and that's what makes it dope, is that when you have a bunch of people that can fall in line with that and just want to see everybody be successful, it's like, so I look at, Nello, I look at Reese, I look at Dez, I look at JV, I look at Davey, I look at him more than anybody else. Like, yo, Dylan, like, yo, I'm proud. Like, I'm proud to be able, and I tell y'all this all the time, like, I'm proud to be able, like just like Uncredible Sources, like, I'm proud to be here doing this with y'all. Yeah. Because this could have went a million different ways on a million different days, but look at us here, like, doing this. Being able to live our dreams and have fun together and create art together and watching it impact people's lives, bro, when anybody could have been doing any of this on their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these, Davey could be doing his own thing, bro. Like, he could have his own collective. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? P could have his own collective. I could have my own thing going. Reese could have his own photography company. JV could be out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but niggas is looking at him and me like, yeah.
What y'all doing?
Like, let's do that.
Let's do what y'all doing.
That's rare, bro.
That's super rare.
Nah.
So I'm grateful and proud.
Recipe. Like I was telling him last episode, like the drive, like seeing what y'all got going. I mean, everybody just driving like together, and I just don't want to be the dude at the table. It's like, man, I ain't got nothing. Rock, what you doing?
That's how I be feeling.
Chilling. So with y'all two being, I mean, safe to say, like the anchors of World 4-5 at this current moment in time, when you think World 4-5, you think MC, you think Parris Chariz. What's one of the biggest areas of growth y'all are working on as individual leaders? Both, I mean, obviously leading the 4-5, but just individually, like what's one of the biggest areas of growth y'all are working on? Because I want people to hear this too, You know what I mean? I don't want people to just hear what y'all feel like the collective can be doing better. It's like, nah, these dudes feel like they can be doing a whole bunch better too.
Yeah.
So,
for me, is leading in itself. Because I